Well, who am I to keep you down? It's only right that you should play the way you feel it. But listen carefully to the sound of your loneliness, like a heartbeat as you feel in the stillness of remembering what you had and what you love and what you had and what you love and what you had and what you love. Oh, thunder only happens when it's raining. The players only love you when they're playing. Say women, they will come and they will go. When the rain was
Hey y'all, hey y'all, hey y'all. Come on in the room. Come on in the room. I hope everyone had the most amazing hump day ever. Wink, wink, wink. But we are back to talk Paradise season 2, y'all. We have enlisted Tyra in the world and the universe of Paradise. I'm so excited. I can't wait to hear what she says. So as you come in, say hello and give us your rating of this episode on these 3 episodes on a scale of 1 to 10. I want to know the cumulative rating of the season so far. 1 is the worst possible thing ever you've ever seen. Like somebody said in my comments the other day, I was the worst they've ever seen. Or 10 being the best, the mostest of everything, right? So 1 to 10, rate the first 3 episodes for me. I'm Ashley. This is my super perspective, and that's Tyra over at Struggle Reviews TV. Tyra, how are you today? And how do you feel now that you're immersed in the world of Paradise?
Girl, I just got here and they snatched me away real quick, but that's okay. We're here and I'm happy to be over here. Oh, it was all sounds of blackness. You know, it's been a struggle February, so I was happy to get over here late to Paradise and see an abundance of black people. I really was. I was.
And see an abundance of melanated people on the underground. But come on in, you guys. Come on in. You know where we start. Let's see. We have some ratings coming in already. Hey, Rico, what's going on? What's going on? He says, hey, folks, what's happening? What's happening, partner? Lost in Cleveland rates it an 8. Welcome, welcome, welcome. 8.2. Okay. All right. So we've got some 8-ish ratings. Tyra, before we get into these overall thoughts, though, how are you rating it? How is it coming across to you on a scale of 1 to 10?
Okay. And we're comparing this to the first season or just
No,
overall?
standalone, just overall. First 3
standalone.
episodes. Mhm.
You know, I like residing in a space of 7. I'm gonna do 7.5. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Nicole N, hey boo, says, I give the first 3 episodes 8.5, a very strong start. I'm jaded, y'all. This was such a departure from what I'm used to, but when I sat with it more, I was like, oh, I'm enjoying this. And I don't know if now I'm like a post-apocalyptic girly and like I'm just into all of that, but I'm not. I was perturbed, right? And I'm perturbed by certain things, and we'll get into it. But overall, was it decent storytelling? Was I locked in? I was. Do I want to know more? I do. So for that reason, it's going to be it's going to be an 8.25 for me, right between an 8 and an 8.5. That's where I'm going to set it right now. Hey, Lynn. Lynn says 8, solid 8.
Right.
But Tyra, we start here every single time. And I want to know from you, because I feel like you're a guest in this world right now, right? You're not quite home in the Paradise. I've lived there for a year, okay? I've been there in the bunker. So overall thoughts of the show in general, and this can be between first season and this season. What have been your overall thoughts as you've kind of immersed yourself in this?
I really enjoyed the first season. I was late, as you said. I just watched this a couple days ago, y'all. I didn't think it would be so black. I was very surprised. This is another one that I didn't kind of rush to view because I think at the time we were watching from, and it just felt like every 5 minutes they were trying to come out with the show of, oh, is it real? Is it purgatory? Is this a distant dystopian future? Like I was just a little exhausted. I was like, you know what? Between Silo and From, I'm just gonna take a little break on Paradise, and I'll get to it when I get to it. Even though I really did hear a lot of great things about it, and they were well deserved. But from the moment I started watching, maybe till probably the fourth episode, I said, okay, this gives a limited series. Really good, but those shows is that you like. I wish I got a second season, but do I really want a second season? Is it going to live up to the first one? Are we going to ruin it by trying to deliver more and capitalize on something that was maybe supposed to be in this universe one time, and then we go on our way? I thought it was really, really good though. I was happy to see Sterling in the front. Let's start there. I was happy to see Sterling in the front, loving on his black wife and his black children. We don't get it enough.
Come on.
Sterling said, "Baby, I'm coming." He said, "Baby, I'm coming to get you. I'm coming to find you." And I was here for that. I really enjoyed the dynamic and how, which is like kind of, I feel like it's redundant in comparison to what we're about to say about this show. I like how contained and small the universe was. We didn't have a choice to be because we were solely inside of this dome. So I like to think at how inventive they could be to keep you immersed at all, and we're not leaving this dome. And I feel like they did a really good job. And it's like, okay, now that we're outside of it, what's really going to happen? Getting into what we're getting now, why the blacks at the back? And I might be a little jaded, like you said, because we just started watching the new season of Cross as well, and it felt like there was a shift happening to where we had really equal ground, but our lead characters, and don't ask me nobody's name, but Miss Mama's here in front of the mic, and Sterling, they were very much in front, given, it was even in that way. But above all else, you could see who was our lead and who wasn't. And just like with Cross, there seems to be a shift, and they feel like it's necessary to bring someone else into the fold. You have to take complete attention away from who we've been focused on this entire time. I didn't really care for a second season because I thought the story was good enough on its own. But if we're going to get here, I'm going to think that we're going to open and pick up where we left off. We did not. So the shift, it was heavy, but I stuck with it, and we're here. Now, these nines and like the eights and the things that I'm seeing in here, I feel like that's more so directed towards, all right, we're back in paradise with episode 3. This is what I wanted to see. I doubt those eights and nines are for the first episode because we didn't know them people.
So here's the thing, and of course I'm gonna give my overall thoughts, but I will say there are some really good moments in episode 1. Episode 2, I felt was very mid, but then when we got back home, it was like, oh, another day in paradise. We're back over here. So I was excited about that. But when we get into the episodes, there were a couple of moments, Tyra, where I shed a little thug tear over here. I did. I felt it. I felt like they took me on a journey, sister. I felt like I went on a journey. But overall thoughts, you're right. Season 1 of Paradise was black. I mean, it wasn't black, but it was black. You know what I mean? And we like it when it's black. And it was a strong black man who loved his family. You know what I mean? Worked 2 jobs, did everything he needed to do. He was upset. He was taking bullets for the president. This was a strong, good black man that we had over there, right? Mm-hmm. And now it just feels like other people and other things are being centered. Was this a black show in reality? No, but in our minds and in our hearts, was it?
Take what we can get. Slim Pickens out here. We gotta take what we can get.
It was, but here's the thing. I like any show that can take me on a journey and make me feel like I'm experiencing a story and a concept that I've never seen or heard before. Any show, I feel like that can make me want more or keep me thinking and asking questions. I'm absolutely here for that. I will say the performances for me from the actors have been strong, even down to the little boy, little baby Presley and her little brother. I think the cast is great. I think the story is fine. I think what they did though with that episode 1 is that they completely took us out of the dimension. And for that reason, I can't give it the highest rating, but I still think it's strong. I think compared to what's on TV right now, This is
yeah.
still very solid, and I'm hoping that by the end of this season, we've come full circle. Because y'all know I have my thoughts about what they did to President Cal last season, and I'm mad that Marsden is gone. I like Cal.
It was very strong. I'll give you that. But just like with Cross, it's easy to be strong with another show. This isn't Paradise. This is another show. We
Really
know
do.
what show we're at. You know, we know what we came, but it's like there's another show and we have to gel them together to, immerse us again. It was just a hard shift out of nowhere.
It was, and that's what I told you. I was like, yeah, I don't know if you want to talk about this because it does feel very different. It feels very Last of Us coded. I'm like,
Yeah.
we're on the horses and everything. When I looked at some
Mhm.
of the stills, I'm like, oh my God, is this Elle? I don't want to see Ellie again. I don't want to see Ellie anymore. But who did this? This is Dan Fogelman. This is the creator, showrunner, primary writer, and he's been in the TV game for a very long time, Tyra, as not just creator or director, but writer. And so Pitch, I don't know if y'all remember that, with Mark Paul Gosselaar, Zach Morris was over there with his young black baseball player. She was going to get her life. Gallivant, which was kind of, it almost felt like Robin Hood Men in Tights. It was like a musical comedy, also kind of like Once Upon a Time, fairy tale coded. He writes on Only Murders in the Building, and almost everyone knows that This Is Us was his baby. And so he came over here, called Sterling, like, I got a project, I want you over here. And this is who did it, in case you didn't know. What is your favorite show from this guy? Drop it in the chat for me. Tyra, have you seen any of these shows? I know you weren't a This Is Us person at all.
Um, yeah, never seen any of these. Not a one. But good luck to this man.
I would say Only Murders in the Building is an incredible show. This Is Us. I think I've watched all of season 1. It has me so emotional. I can't give it a fair because I feel like it's emotional manipulation over there. I cry every single episode, but it was good. Still a great cast, good writing. So that's who did it. I thought we should just put that over there. Now, episode 1, Graceland. We meet Annie. Quite contrary. You know what I mean? How does your garden grow? Annie is our tour guide in Memphis, Tennessee, when the world ends. Her survival in the ensuing years after the day is revealed, as well as her encounter with a traveling group of survivors. So we enter this and we meet little orphan Annie, okay? Because Annie's been through it in her life. She lives a very solitary life. This is played by Shailene Woodley. If y'all watched Secret Lives of American Teenager, that's where I first met her. But she's been in all of the series and movies. If you watch Divergent, you know her. But she's Annie, and basically she grew up with a single mom, a mom who was very educated, went to Duke, was a doctor and all those things. But as she got a little bit older, her mental health declined. And so Annie was her caretaker. And for whatever reason, their connection, their tie was all around Elvis, all around Graceland. So she has this enormous amount of knowledge on Elvis, right? And so after her mom passes away, she decides she's going to go to medical school, and she attends, I believe, for 3 years, actual medical school, and she has to leave because she keeps having anxiety attacks. Like, it's too much for her. She can't handle it. It's not working. And so she gets in the car, heads out, and she finds herself in Memphis 10, right outside of Graceland. And she's like, okay, I guess this is my life. So again, what we know of her so far, she's used to living alone. She's got some medical education and savvy. She's very smart. And she doesn't require a whole lot. Honestly, at first glance, and honestly, even after meeting her these first couple of episodes, I'm hoping there's more to her than meets the surface. But Tyra, what do you think of Little Orphan Annie? Did she make a strong impression on you as a character? And, what do you think of her so far?
I started off wrong immediately because, we're always going to try to write a story and put something together. So when I saw Graceland, I was like, oh, we're here. I was like, okay. So clearly with us getting into a season 2, they want to open up the universe and we're going to be more inclusive, more characters. I'm expecting that. But Graceland and that little girl named Presley and the way Sterling sat there all last season. Yeah, I'm not a fan. But Wifey said, she love her some Graceland, love her some Elvis. Okay. I was like, we're going to pick up with his wife, probably like the day that it happened. The day that phone disconnected, when he was
No.
crying on that plane, and it's like, no, baby, this is what wifey has been doing. I was like, okay, who is this? I said, who is this? I was like, okay, if this isn't, an introduction for that, Annie must be a gateway for us to get back to the wife. And we're going to work our way back from Atlanta and get here to Graceland because we're going to go to what's familiar because she loved her some Elvis. That wasn't what this was. Annie, are you okay? Are you okay? She was not okay. I was like, man, that was, I don't know. I'm going to assume for her to be triggered enough to have that much of an anxiety attack and immediately drop medical school, something that intense. I was like, okay, maybe that must have been your umpteenth attack. And it's like, I really can't take it beyond this point. I don't think we're going to get a whole lot more. I think they tried to give us some depth in that time to show that she was skilled because I think she was trying to help the student next to her. Like, I'm very capable, I'm very educated, but this is stopping me. Have this traumatic, situation with my mother, this lingering attachment that we have to Graceland. And yeah, I'm just going to go on down to Graceland and have a breakdown. And no matter of fact, I'm going to drop medical school altogether and just work here at Graceland because I don't really have any direction at this moment. I just know I can't handle medical school right now. Gladys.
You know it. You know me. You know me. She was a friend of mine. Listen. What is wrong with us?
Because we black. That's why. Hey, love overboard. Yeah. I was very happy to see Miss Angel here. If you guys watch, are you like really active, at least a little bit on Instagram? And I don't even think I am that much, but I've seen her. She does little the skits and stuff with her husband, and she's been trying to get her foot in the door as far as acting. So I was really happy to see her here. I was really hoping that Gladys would be the wife. Or maybe she was out of something. And it was just like, no, this is just someone who happens to work at Graceland when it all falls down. Come on, Shailene, not only come get a job, but now that the world is falling apart, girl, we gotta pull it together. Thank goodness Annie was there. Because Gladys would have known what to do with herself. Because you're smart, girl. You was smart, you was kind, you was important. I'm just the pretty one. I'm just cute. I don't got nothing upstairs. Whoa, girl, what was I gonna do? They give Miss Mamas just enough time to roll down them steps and injure herself and for us to have a death out of nowhere. But hey, get your check. Ma'am, get your check. I was happy, that we got an introduction to a character. Would it have been nice to see Gladys last a little bit longer in the apocalypse? Maybe a little bit, but they said no, baby, you get episode 1, and do you know you got 30 minutes because that's all you got.
You have 30 minutes. You have 30 minutes. And so really this was her introduction officially to Graceland because I see you in this car and I see you down bad. So baby, come on over here. You can get a job. You know anything about Elvis? Sure. And so it's fast friends. And then the world ends, Tyra. The world ends. But I had to take this moment just to get a slide because I'm so proud of her. Because I've been seeing her online in her dreams to be somebody in Hollywood. Gail, you know what I meant, C. Golden. It was Gail, Gladys. Gladys felt right in the moment, I guess. Dang it. It's been a long day. It's been a long day, C. Golden. But anyway, Gail. Gladys sounds better. It should have been Gladys. Anyway. Gladys.
You work too hard.
Listen.
Yes, no.
And I do.
And I did. And
I did. We were so happy to see her come through. And so again, she came in and like, I'm going to be, your bestie for the restie. And then the apocalypse now. The world ends immediately. And immediately our girl Annie steps right into action and is like, all right, so go over there and get everything you can from the cafeteria, get all the canned goods, get all the lighting instruments, get all the candles, get everything you can and bring them over here. I'm going to go grab over here. Look, she's getting the blicky, Elvis's blicky with the 6 bullets and like, all right, I got everything I need. So I said, oh, she's a doomsday prepper. She knows everything that she needs to do to get over here. And of course, our good sis, what'd y'all say? I'm going to call her Gladys. I don't care. I'm so sorry. Gladys was like, baby, what are we doing? I don't know. Let's get all downstairs. So eventually we finally get downstairs when everything happens. And I'm thinking this is going really easy. If you watch a lot of post-apocalyptic TV or movies, you know how crazy it gets. You know how wild it gets. And the idea that they were able to be confined here for this unlimited amount of time without anybody coming behooved me. The fact that they were able to acquire enough food to last them the years that it lasted them in that one little quick trip is beyond me. You kind of have to suspend, a little bit. But anyway, they're getting down there, they're getting settled, and Gladys, aka whatever you said her name was, falls down the stairs. Yes, Gail. She falls down the stairs. And I mean, it's not just an easy fall. What is it? Scarlett took a tumble, right? And so her leg is broken, bones are protruding, and she has this medical knowledge, but I don't think they have antibiotics, Tyra. I don't think they had antibiotics. I think they had a few cute bandages. She fixes her up as good as she can, but immediately as soon as that happened, I was like, oh, Gladys is gonna die. She's out of there. Like, I was like, she's not gonna make it down here. She was sweating, she was hot, it looked crazy. It looks worse than it really is. Please don't lie to this lady. Please don't lie to this lady. Oh, you did it. It's warm now. It's warm now. Oh, gosh. I'm so glad I'm the pretty one and you're the smart one. You're so smart. You're so smart. You is smart. You is kind. You is important. You is all those things. Next thing we know, Gladys, a.k.a. Gail, deader than a doornail. And we see her again suffering another loss. She had to take her outside, bury her in this unknown element. So we know it wasn't nuclear. And if you remember season 1, Cal had said, I can't do that to them. I'm not going to eliminate them. I'm not pulling that switch. But what I will do is shut down the grid and we can go underground. I have to give the people a chance. They played on Cal's time. Cal never got the love or appreciation he deserved. Anyway, I digress. So anyway, she's burying her out there, crying her heart out to her, because this is the one, my best good friend. This was the only somebody I have. You know what I mean? And so she passes away. She does all that. And now I'm just alone again. But fortunately enough for Annie, little orphan Annie, she's used to being alone. Tyra, how did this build for you? Was it a surprise that Gladys, aka Gail, caught her demise fairly quickly? I think 60 days in, less than 60?
No. I knew where they were going with her. Now, the energy shifted, but at first it was like, baby, excuse me, you cannot park here. You can't sit here. You're in front of Graceland. It's just, it was given woman of the world. It was given Loretta Devine and Urban Legend. If you've seen that one, you know what I'm talking about. It's like, look at here, baby. Now you can't sit here. Now you got to get yourself together. Get out this parking lot. It was a little bit of that. It gave woman of the 90s. If something pops off and the earth begins to move, Gail knows what to do. Child, as soon as we hit the, oh Lord, I don't know. Look, okay, this is what you need to do. Get across that street, jump over the fence, gather all the supplies, put them on a gurney and come right back. She's like, oh, okay. It gave immediately, oh, I don't know what I would have done if you weren't here, white woman. I was like, okay, all right, Gladys. Gail's not going to make it long. She's not long for this world. And I was okay with that. I was at least hoping that Miss Mamas would have made it to episode 2. But when we took that tumble down those steps, I said, oh, yeah, baby, it wasn't. I said, oh, she's gone. She's a goner. She's done for. But it was very, how do you know all this stuff? You're so smart. I ain't never been nowhere with cold water. How's you been? I don't know where they were trying to transport us to, but I knew what was happening with her. And it was unfortunate because I wanted my girl to work. I wanted her to work out here in these streets because we need a good check, but by the time we went in there and it was like, oh, you know what? Annie, I'm not even cold anymore. It was very Old Yeller. We about to take Old Yeller out back and shoot him. I say, oh.
Yeah, we gotta take Old Yeller out back.
I was the only thing that was missing, it was like Last of Us Walking Dead without it. And I was like, well, at least we don't have to worry about her changing. We ain't got her pop, pop, pop the minute she goes to sleep for good. So we had to take her out back and bury her. And it was, oh, my best good friend. This would have been cute. I would have liked to see Angel exist in the world. At least 2 to 3, 2.5 episodes. But if she had to go, she had to go. And it gave, she wasn't just going to be resourceful. Anyway, it gave liability in this bed. So she could, everybody can't go with us, Ashley. They can't go. They can't.
Everybody ain't going to make it. Everybody can't go. Everybody can't go. I was really hoping though, Tyra. I really was. I said, oh, come on, Angel. We need to see you more. And it said, no. No. And so now, after now a couple years, I think it's been they count in days, and don't have me doing long division watching a show, but I know that there's been multiple years that have passed, and little orphan Annie has been there on her own, living her best life with her beans. I said they must have had 1,000 can of beans because she ain't went outside and harvested nothing, planted nothing. There's no sun, right? Because when the apocalypse hit, it blocked out the sun, so the temperatures dropped drastically. We know that there were going to be volcanoes and tsunamis and all of the things per the doomsday scientists that we heard from last season. And very quickly we see a knock on the gate. And Tyra, and again, I'm shell-shocked maybe because every time I see a group of men, especially after just watching The Walking Dead, I'm like, oh, they're here to grape and pillage. They're here to grape and pillage. They're here to tear stuff up. I was like, God, they're all men. She's a single woman. I was like, I remember this scene in The Walking Dead when Rick was under that bed and they was going to grab him and snatch him out. And that's the first place she went, Tyra. She went under the bed. I said, little orphan Annie, hold on, go under the bed.
All the places she went.
But apparently this is a band of merry gents, Tyra. Gentle. They're chefs. They cook. They cook boar bacon and fry you eggs. Like, these were the nicest, kindest group of bandits I've ever seen in my life. But of course, little orphan Annie wasn't going for it because who are you with this beard? And I said, that's Leo. That's Leo, aka Link. That's Leo from Tell Me Lies. If I learned one thing from watching Tell Me Lies, I learned about Leo. And I will say, Leo, I liked him with this beard, Tyra. The beard was working. I said, Leo, when did you grow up, Leo? It was so cute. Anyway, Link is the one who makes the initial impression, and she's very hesitant, very much like standoffish. They're like, look, we just came for the cars. We're looking for this specific piece. And later we find out that's a part of their mission because they're headed to Colorado, to the bunker, to the paradise, because they need to unalive someone or something named Alex. So now, Tyra, I need to know from you because I really was like, oh Lord, they're going to torture her. They're going to string her. But I was like, it's going to be Negan. Somebody's going to want to marry her. Like, I was like, this is going to be so bad. We're having candlelit dinners, Tyra. They're cooking breakfast for her. It took her 2 minutes. As soon as that bacon started frying, she said, well, I guess I'll come over. I guess I'll come sit at the table with you men. And they were like, come on. Very kind, very gentle. I was waiting for the nefarious to pop out. I was like, I don't trust this. Mm-hmm. I'm jaded, Tyra. But what did you think of our merry band of gents? And are they truly good?
I knew the nefarious, at least with her, wasn't going to pop out. They knew they was wrong for how they had. I knew. I was like, what you getting under the bed for? Ugh. Girl, that extra tall bed. Girl, are you hiding? Are you sure? But the way he yanked her, it's like, oh, it's a setup. Don't try to lure me in with the bed yank and make me think they're gonna try to snatch off her underwear. Don't do that. We're nervous. But this is what took me, and I knew they weren't gonna make anything difficult for her, even though I don't want that in the scene. But it immediately turned into Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. I was like, oh, she's gonna sing. The birds are gonna come. She's gonna feed them on the windowsill. She was about to Snow White this whole situation. But what sent me was up on Impact when we have people kind of getting that same visual that the president got. And it's like, oh, it's on the news. That big tidal wave comes through and everything just kind of fades to black. And we're looking out into the telescope with Gladys. It's like, oh my God, look at people were immediate. It was immediately the apocalypse I was like, normally, because if we're going on based on what happened, now the climate change and everything, that's to be expected. But the behavior that comes along with it, they are sitting knee deep in this apocalypse like it's been 10 years. I say, hold on. Is this not like year 1 or 2 or
that was immediate?
It's only been, because when we meet, it's only been 3 years. But it was like 0 dark 30 immediately. I said, what the hell? I didn't know. So when it's in, like you're saying, I think they're just trying to ease her into the show in an easier way. So we don't want to make things too difficult, but we're going to show that she's skilled and savvy and all of this, and she knows what to do. And in case something happens, or she has medical training, but how she kind of jumped into action when we met Gladys, we met Gail, and then versus here, baby, you don't do that and then hide under a bed. I don't know. It's a little iffy, but it's like we have to ease her into this universe, so we can't make things super difficult just yet. So she's gonna meet a band of married men. Okay, all right, cool. But I'm glad that they were nice. I'm glad they didn't come to pillage and take her down. Are they good? I mean, in this world, that's depending on who you're speaking to, I think it's gonna be up and down with that, especially later when we find out how Leo, we're just gonna call him Leo, how he fits into paradise at all and what he may be going there for. Because we don't know who Alex is, right?
Or what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't know, what or who or what's really going on there, but we do know that they have an agenda. But she's not a part of that. The targeted, energy and Plex seems to be all about Paradise and Alex. But yeah, we have to, ease her in. I was like, well, aren't you a lucky one? You got in there in the Graceland and had all the food you could ever need for years on end. You met a band of married men. They sung you a song, took you in, fed you some bacon. Girl, you're having a good time in this apocalypse, aren't you? That was great.
Listen, amazing. Because I'm like, there had to be someone come into the secured location thinking there's got to be resources there. There's got to be. We're in the mind. You know what I mean?
But no, that's why I'm like, you can't open up the universe and have it both ways to where people are pillaging and ramming through the streets literally day one, and then we get here a year or two removed, because by the time we're like trying to get or go find, she's already pregnant. So we're gonna give her those 9 months of grace. This is year 2, and it's hell and high water. Everybody on the outside and turned into caveman as far as Paradise is concerned. I was like, did they have opposable thumbs? How much time has went by? Why are you guys doing this in the universe?
Listen, hairy, bearded. I was like, they ain't got a razor? Like, y'all ain't had no baths?
It just turned into, it was instant hell. And then, like, even the idea of, scraping and like, oh, we have to find food and we have to go like from bunker to bunker and we're collecting as we go. Normally those events happen when you're a few years into it. And then it doesn't really help the situation when you tell us there are no zombies. Now, people are going to people. They're always, the real threat in the universe. But we haven't even gotten to a point where everybody like, no, this situation killed off a really large segment of the population. So why are we out here acting like we fighting over a loaf of bread already day one?
That was crazy because it was the purge. I was like, oh, they're pulling out blickies. Like they're like, oh, let's go back inside. Yeah, because they're not going to come over here because we don't have the fire lit. I was like, okay, y'all really, that was it. Okay.
I love how they gave her that. She's like, so you never use the fireplace? Yeah, I would want to alert anybody. Oh, you smart, you kind, you was important. They gave her the DJ Khaled validation immediately. You smart. Ooh, you smart.
And mind you, this is supposed to be a group of really smart people. They all have different, they're all different and genius and nerds in their own ways. And they found each other miraculously. And they're going to save the world. But after this dinner, Tyra, and this was the moment that got me, because I really felt so reminiscent of the vid. I feel like when people were like in seclusion and living alone, and not really connected and hadn't been touched in all these years. Because when she and Link, aka Leo, honey, get that hug and that embrace, I said, oh my God, it's because she's never been touched. She's never been touched by a man. She's probably a virgin. And he broke down too, because, who am I? What am I? I'm just this gentle guy who just wants the most and the best for you. So let me lay you down for one night only. One night only, Tyra. It's all I have to spare. And they get Bucky naked. But the next morning, she locks herself in the room like, don't talk to me. He said, I really want you to come with us. You'll be safer with us. Like, come on. No, baby, I can't. I gotta stay in Graceland. I can't. And I was just like, what made you think, baby, she was ever going anywhere with you? I think she likes her seclusion. But in this moment, she finally gets some human connection. And I think she really likes him. But in this amount of time that they spent there, which wasn't long, I don't think there was time to really fall in love. But the peen worked potent, as we see 9 months later. But Tyra, talk to me about this, and talk to me about why you think Little Orphan Annie decided to stay rather than go on this mission. Was it her overhearing them say, we still got to go kill Alex? Was that the thing that sent her off? Because it's almost like she reverted back to day one again.
Girl, first of all, I was ready to go. I didn't care about none of this. I was like, baby, what are we doing? How long are we gonna be here with these folks? I don't mind them opening the world up. It's to be expected because we can't stay in that dome. Uh, but it was like we have to check off certain boxes to make the audience want to follow up with these characters.
Mhm.
But we only got so much time, so we need to fit it all in this episode. I was like, we don't know. This is one night. That's why it had to be one night only, Effie. It had to be that because that was all we had to spare.
Mhm.
And I felt like her, immediate, I don't want to go, I'm locking myself in. I think it was something triggered and reminiscent of how she felt with her mom, and that some even the anxiety, it was something that she didn't deal with. She really hadn't even dealt with anything. She just started working at Graceland, and that was just that. But trying to even confront it and understand why that was happening, or even really deal with her mother's death, I think it was triggering. And like, I can't go out there. I don't know what to expect. Am I going to be protected? I think it was just all too much at once. And then, she lost her best good friend, Gladys. She lost Gail, as soon as we got in the house. It's just all too much. And like you said, I think she likes this seclusion and being alone because it's safe, and out there it's just the unexpected. But all of the chutzpah they had to muster up to, like, ooh, love of my life, you are my friend. I said, okay. They had to make it happen really, really quick. Steamy. Little Shailene, she gonna give you steam. She gonna give up that box in the show. Okay, she gonna have a good time. That's always gonna be there. But they really had to double down so hard to make us believe, outside of even getting pregnant, why she would want to seek him out, because it's just instantaneous. This is, a love lost. You don't just find this every day. You got to hold on to your love. I got to go back. I got to go out and find this man, regardless if I'm pregnant or not, because I can't exist like this alone. I was just scared. Understandable, but I just was like, so we just really not going to get Sterling in the first episode?
They were very much like, yeah, no, about that. I just really hate, and again, I agree with you. She very much gives like a plot device, because we've come to find out by the end of episode 3 how important Link is. And so then it's like, oh, that's why you put her here, because that's how we have to connect. And she's going to be the one to save the day or to step in or do something. There's going to be some sort of conflict that we ultimately see between these two. But I hate that, because don't make her feel that way, because in that way, it makes me feel like she's an expendable throwaway instead of like a real character that we should have some hope in and investment in. And that kind of goes back to the note I said when we first started, in that she seems very one-dimensional. There's really not a lot to her character. And I was really hoping that we would grasp, we would go a little bit deeper. But I fear that she is just used for the connection with Link ultimately.
Oh, you said to spend. I think they're going to try to layer her in so much. It's going to be a false sense, but I think they're going to try to layer her in so much self-importance, as if, like, if I'm not here, or if this doesn't happen, the world will literally end. Like, I think it's just going to be so layered, and we're going to be like, because the way that we are even here to tie her into paradise is just like, yeah, this is what we're doing. I was like,
but he's the important one. I just feel like she's a vehicle, but maybe that'll shift. I think she will come down to like an integral moment, like an important moment. But I'm just
I think she'll be whenever the link happens and he goes, yeah, I knock all this ish over. It'd be like, but wait, I have a connection here with Sterling. Like, I know them. He has 2 kids and a wife. Like, you can't do this. That one night only. Remember, smell my palm when we made love?
This is your baby.
This is your baby. Life deserves to be lived. Like, you can't do whatever you came down here to do, because I'm here.
Yeah. Come see my big rotund belly. We'll see. And so ultimately, by the end of this episode, there's another knock on the gate. Well, kind of a way up the road. Let me get on horseback with my puffer jacket, because my horse came back, because it's a miracle. My one good friend now that I have here. And I have to go find my man, because it was that deep. Loving me for that one night, Tyra, was so deep that I'm going to hobble my pregnant behind up on horseback, and I'm going to go to my man with my little Elvis revolver, and I'm going to find him, and I'm going to love him, and I'm going to get him. But who do we see sprawled out like a $2 whore in the dirt, Tyra. We see Xavier Collins down there. And that's how the episode ends. But what do you think about all of this excitement? She's growing fruits and berries in the living room, Tyra. Like she's really renovating.
She's resourceful. You ain't know. We have to make her an
Link said he was coming
instant.
back.
Girl, she, baby, we can give you medical treatment. I can throw your ass on horseback. I can grow fruits and berries. I'm one with nature, one with God, and one with all things in the world. I'm a horse whisperer. You ain't know? I'm a woman of many means, okay? Okay? Baby, the way I was like, now we gonna wait until we good and pregnant to go being around the world and ay. Girl, you in your last trimester. This is so like I felt so shook up when she was on that horse. I'm like, where are you going? You had time. Just at that moment, like, nah, I had to really sit in here and get big and pregnant to go, you know what? I need to go find that man. Where that math at? Girl, what? Fine. I mean, I don't know. I'm just leave it alone. I feel like she's gonna get on my nerves. Okay, I'm sorry. I feel like she's going to get on my nerves because they bring these characters on and they just make fetch happen, and they layer them in all of this false sense of self-importance and they're integral out of nowhere. And what they do is more so often, all of a sudden they become more integral than the leads that we were following the entire first season. And everything is resting on her shoulders in the relationship that she has with Link that she met and had sex with that one night, that one time. Don't play in my face, show. Come correct.
And I agree, Nicole. I think she'll be instrumental to a point. My issue is I still don't feel like there's not enough about her that we know that makes her really endearing as a character. Like, you know what I mean? There's just something very superficial and surface about her so far. And hopefully they'll build that up if they mean to have her as a main, you know, for the indefinitely or for the rest of the show or for the rest of the season.
What's that movie we watched? What is that movie we just watched? Send Help. They should have gave her the Send Help treatment where she was a survivalist specialist or something to where all of these skills, you know, I have a special set of skills. If they was going to Liam Neeson her, we should have got something like that to make it all make sense. Because you just having, you know, I was in medical school this one time in band camp. I like they gave her that little opportunity. She was like, oh, yeah, you look so young in your beard. Oh, your hand. Let me just go on and pop that back into place. See what I just did right there? You've been touched. I laid my hands on you. Woosah. I said, okay.
She's
all
a
right.
healer, you know.
Here we go.
She's a healer and she feels it deeply. But she did get that note from Link. And Link said, I'll come back for you. I'll come back for you. So romantical. And so she had to go out. And then she had to get Xavier. And that brings us over to episode 2, Mayday, because I don't got no business flying a plane at night in the first place. Xavier battles the elements and other threats as he follows a broadcast to Atlanta in search of his wife, Terry. Follows her blindly. When they show him in the cockpit of that plane, Tyra, with no visibility, I said, if you don't take your ass down on the ground, Xavier, what are you thinking of? This ends badly for you. Next thing we know, pop, pow, kaboom, the wing's on fire, and he's laid out, sprawled out in the sinking sand, apparently. He's crashed and burned, Tyra, and he's laid out. But at least we know, because, again, we're rewinding time, because she's already found him, and we'll later see what, you know, Annie has done with him. But for now, Tyra, he's crashed and burned. What did you think in this moment? Were you like, where are we going? Like, this is now turned in to, again, another survival show. What's that one with Tom Hanks where he
Castaway.
Yeah.
Wilson. Immediately, I said, you will not do this to Rick Grimes. Get him up off the ground. Get him up off the ground now. Where we met Xavier and how capable and smart and resourceful he is, it's like, yeah, we need things in this season to work a certain way. You can't be that once you touch down. Because if you're that, then there's no need for you to need anybody's help. So we got to shut you down and shut you up real quick. Have you flown? I was like, Xavier would have definitely landed this plane. I was like, what? Can you see? What are you doing? He not trying to land. He too busy. No. If anybody out there is listening, baby, I tried to come get your kids. I love you. POP, hold it down. I was like, if you don't get to the ground, like, immediately. So the way that we not only crash and burn, but our need. Now we can't walk. Now he needs assistance. And this is the only way that we could, incorporate our Annie and any other characters that we're going to meet along the way, because he's extremely capable. I thought that we were going to get here, and if we wanted to broaden the world, I thought we would be focusing on Xavier or his wife, and it would be more of a culture shock, because even though you are, Mr. President, what do you need? And you're all of these, skillful things. This is something totally different because you've been so sheltered in the dome. So when you come out and it's, literally the apocalypse here, because it only took year one and everything just went to hell. Everybody turned into a caveman immediately. And it's just like, whoa, I thought he would be meeting, he was going to get our Rick Grimes on. Like, I'm expecting people to still act like normal human beings. Like, hey, this is my wife. I'm trying to get, and it's just like, blicky, 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 because this ain't that no more, bruh. Where did you come from? You look all well, clean and well fed. I say, sir, it's only been 5 minutes. What you mean he look clean and well fed? I don't know. I just expected something different. But now that I know where we're going with the story, we have to put Xavier here just so we can get our other people.
Yeah, so we can go over there with Annie, apparently. But now, in the middle of all this, while he's laying up in the hospital, bandaged from feet to head, he has a flashback of 2004 during his Secret Service training, where he gets a very similar knee injury, right? And he's unable to walk, and he ends up in the hospital, at the whatever. And this is where he meets his wife, Tyra. The woman that we've been waiting to meet all last season, all this season. And we meet her in episode 2. And I have thoughts, but Tyra, I'm going to start with you. What do you think of Wifey? What did you think of this flashback moment? Because she's not trying to give him any play at all. Get out of my face. I've got missions. I don't want kids. I don't necessarily want a husband. I've got goals. I've got dreams big enough to swim in, Tyra. And I don't have time for you, even though you're a little bit cute. A little bit cute.
Well, we couldn't make it a natural meet cute. We wouldn't do that. That would be too much like right. I think in the writer's room, with the idea of her, I guess, being the complete opposite in their marriage as far as Xavier, they had to meet this way. So where he's concerned and he's kind and I can help you and hello, and even how anal he is about the Jello child. It's like, hey, take this damn Jello, get this lime green Jello and shut up. Okay. I'm trying to rest up, and don't talk to me as long as you're in here, because I don't want nothing to do with that. I understand it, but it would have been nice. I will say, even though she was extremely guarded, I appreciated him persisting. He was like, I'm gonna persist so hard. I know my knee healing up quite nicely, but I'm gonna stand here a little longer. Excuse me, nurse. I need more time here. Yeah, let me just check up, because I'm gonna get this woman. This is my wife. But it was nice. I'm glad that we got more time with her, because so much was resting on her, and we didn't really get into her character all that often in the first season. Would it have been nice if this was romantic and, sure. But I will say we do typically get that. I like how stern she is, because I feel like out there in this universe that we're in, this hyper apocalypse, even though it's only been 5 minutes, she's going to be able to handle herself. Whereas we have Sterling, who's kind and trusting and, very structured in that way, because I'm a man, of the military, and a man of the training, and man of this, and, the pilot and his father. She's going to be the opposite of that. So, I mean, it was cute. She eventually warmed up when it's like, oh, you're still here. And it's like, oh, you really are a good man, Savannah. I guess I can give you a little play. Ashley.
I was annoyed by Miss Terry, Tyra. And it's not her inherently. Like, I wanted to know why he was willing to cuss out the president and tell him, I'll be happy when you die, about this woman. I wanted to know what made her so deep that he was willing to risk his existence as an angel, Tyra, to come on down to come see about her. That's what I wanted to get. That's what I wanted to get. And this did not give me that. This gave a man dogged in trying to get a woman to be with him, and her paying him dust. not to be bothered. And someone left a really insightful comment in my chat, because what I really am frustrated with more than anything is that I feel like this is the spin, the narrative that I get for so many Black female characters as of late. It's immediately out the gate. They're strong, they're stern, they're mean. They have like this surly disposition that's got to be worn down. And I just feel like we're more, listen, yes, mean and surly. I just feel like listen, and I'm like, is that the way the world sees Black women? That's what really gets under my skin. It's not just this. I think this is just because this is the 5th or 6th Black female character that I've seen them introduce similarly to us. And I'm like, do they want us to have a chip on our shoulders around her? Like I said, I would rather see them their first night during the honeymoon or something than this. If this is how they met and how they got, let me see y'all when y'all in love, because then it can help me to conceptualize why he was willing to risk it all, why he had 2 beautiful melanated babies with this woman. It could really give me perspective instead of just seeing her dog him out and him with his OCD lining stuff up on her hospital tray.
I already knew we were going. That only impression that we got of her in person when we did the flashback about their daughter's project, and it was like, hell yeah, she did it. Like, he was borderline embarrassed. I already knew, because it's like they was very opposites attract, and she had to just be opposing in that way. And it wasn't like, baby, you gonna always say what I'm thinking, but like it was very like, thank you guys, like, can you just tone it down? Like, I thought when they exited the what was it, the dean's office or whatever they were, I thought he was gonna like lecture her about, baby, do you really have to go that hard? Like, I'm a man, like, I'm trying to work for the president, you can't be doing it wasn't even that. So I was like, when we meet her, sadly, this is what I expected to get. Even though I feel like we have enough strong Black woman representation in this world already with one particular character, we didn't need another one.
And I get it. And someone in the comments were like, not a lot of us are in the writers' rooms in these spaces and don't necessarily, have the autonomy to follow a character and write for that character consistently throughout the series.
Because they would understand a wife, she can be nuanced enough to stand on 10 toes all about her baby and her project and how that went at school, and still get here and be affectionate and loving. Like, even if they wanted to give a little, I wasn't interested at first, but I'm kind of warming up. No, it took a while. And he had to stay there and be there in the capacity of helping and working and earning. And oh my God, like, he's still here. It's like, well, damn, is he? Because I wouldn't have been.
Well, we'll see. I mean, she didn't listen to him. She still didn't listen to him when he told her to stay close to home, and he didn't listen to the president. So I guess they're a match made in heaven ultimately. But this is how they get together, honey, and that's their love story. That's their love story. Now let's get over here with the Lord of the Flies and the children of Chucky, the children of the corn. Because I knew when I saw this little Daniel, dirty, not talking, I said, I know who these are. These are like the miniature version of the Whisperers, Tyra. I knew that this was going to be nefarious. I didn't know how nefarious, but I knew it was going to be crazy because they done took his stuff. They done took his little raggedy duffel bag, Tyra, where he's got the keys to the kingdom that Cal left him. Everything's written down in this damn book, and they've absconded with it. The pictures of his children, all his supplies, any ammo, any weapons, everything is in that bag. I said, sir, if you didn't commit that book to memory, why don't you have the pages strapped to a vest underneath your jacket? Did you think that you were, you know what I mean? We just watched Underground. He took that rag and put blood on it and got the Song to Freedom. I was like, why don't you have the Song to Freedom on your back, Sterling? Tied close to you. I hate that. It pissed me off because these little raggedy vagabonds were up to no good. And so we also find out in this moment, he's landed in Arkansas, which we found out from the Merry Band of Gents that Arkansas is hands off. It's foreboding. You don't go down there because it's the wild, wild west. They're pillaging. That's the danger zone. You don't go down there. And so the kids show him where they're at on a map. And he's like, all right, cool. All right. This is my family. These are my kids. I got to get back to them. So if you just give me my stuff back, I can go on and be about my way. He said, but first, you want me to read a bedtime story to you? Little boy said, he He said, what'd he say? Well, when you die, can he have your jacket? That's a nice. I said, oh no. I said, is this what is this? I said, this is foreshadowing. I don't like it. So he leaves, goes out, finds out that there's been somebody who's been tracking them. The man says, yeah, and I've been following them kids for 2-3 days. The knee injury goes away and he goes into Secret Service mode. He choked that man out, killed him, did all the things. And then he lands, because gosh, I feel so lightheaded. Y'all, the kids come out creeping like the whisperers, not saying a thing. And they're like, and he's like, I had to, kids. I'm so sorry you had to see something like that. Oh, God, I don't know. Then we see the Lord of the Flies and his little gaggle of demon seeds go over there. And when I tell you they pushed him in the soft sand, the soft served sand and dirt, I said, what is happening? It was like, press, press, press. Press. I said, what are y'all doing? I said, is it quicksand? They just push the body down, push the body down. It's like they knew how to do it. Push the body down and then let's sprinkle some leaves. It's like they crunched up the leaves like Mr. Bean does. You know how he be.
Why are you sound like you're doing a hocus pocus seance or a spell over there?
No, I'm not doing that. But you know how you get like potato chips and you crack them up like if you're making a tuna casserole and you sprinkle them on top.
I don't know. I thought you was finna twist the bones and break the back. I didn't know what the hell you was doing.
No, that's what they do with the potato chips. And that's what they did with them leaves. They cracked them up and they spread them all over the body. And then you go to Xavier and we find out he got a knife. I said, are they going to take his jacket? They said, little boy said, when you die, can I have your jacket? Next thing we know, he's out of it. And I said, oh, God, they're going to push him in the soft dirt too, Tyra. I said, he's going to have to dig his way out. I was so nervous. But eventually he gets up. He gets some strength. He goes into the little trailer. They left a picture of him and his kids and said, we're sorry. I'm so sorry. But we had to take all your stuff. He's like, damn it. And that's what's with the Lord of the Flies. Talk to me about this, Tyra. Because I was like, what the heck?
You sure, Winnie? You about to... This is what I'm talking about. Like, they have to be careful if we want to get this knee deep into the apocalypse. Certain things only occur with time. And with that group of kids that we saw, I didn't think anybody in that group was above 9, maybe 10. No, so for them to get here and be this careworn and this knee deep into the universe too, like we robbing all passerbyers. We can't be trusted. It's the land of lost boys. We rolling up. We robbing you. We burying you in shallow graves. I was like, it's been 5 minutes. In apocalypse time, it's been 5 minutes. Okay. But normally, I'm like, y'all have to make it make sense. Typically, when you see like a Lords of the Flies situation, even if it is this, for everything to go down, and these kids are all of what, maybe 6 at the time, 5, 6, like there were some small kids. Normally you have an older child or someone there who's on the brink, 16, 17, 18, who's more skilled to, it was just them. I was like, what? I kept waiting for somebody else to pop up. Like, yeah, luring man. Yeah, we use the kids because we know the kids are going to get you. You know how they do in the apocalypse. We're going to use the small children to lure you in, and then we're going to steal your jacket and all your supplies. But it just felt so, I don't know. It feels like they want us to believe more time has went by than it has. So that was just kind of taking me out a bit. But how we just incapacitated Xavier in every single way possible immediately. I was like, Lord, Xavier, you've been here 5 minutes. You've been here 5 minutes. You've been here 5 minutes. The plane has crashed. Your knees messed up. And the little boy got to tell you, like, hold on, pumpkin, in so many words. I'm going to need you to wait until the next thunder hit and until you pop this little knee back into place. I need you to pipe down. Are you listening to me? Are you comprehending? There's that. But how, I'm like, this is, Secret Service. And when we met him first season, Xavier is very, he's very detailed, and I'm watching in my surroundings. And even if it is children, I have my own children to get to. It was very, so you want me to read you a bedtime story and tuck you in? You guys can come with me. Soon as I find my wife, y'all can come with me. Hey, guys, I need that. Hey, man, it's my stuff, my bag. I need those things in that bag. I won't know where to go or what to do if I don't have. Like, did you know where you were coming? Did you even think about where you were coming to? And the people that have been left to fend for themselves in this element, it's like they had to also do this to break him down from who we met, but also give levity to Miss Mama's, whatever her name is, as to why she didn't want to open the dome or tell anybody about it in the first place. It's like, well, yeah, it's going to be, people are going to be scavenging, people are going to be savages, it's going to be all of that. But he gets out here, and that's not in the forefront of your mind. Not even a little bit. Now, of course, even him going into Secret Service mode, it was all, under the guise of protecting these children. But nothing in your body made you feel like I need to also make sure I'm protecting myself from these children. And it would be different if they were giving warm and cuddly. No, they were Sour Patch Lord of the Flies kids from the moment that they said they were weird. They were weird. And it's just like, oh, well, yeah. Okay. I was like, all right. But now you're left with nothing but a picture of your children and an I'm sorry. How are you going to, with how he got stripped down immediately, not even, not even 10 paces out of goddamn paradise, how are you going to maintain now?
I don't know what direction he has, especially now that we know what's going to happen with little orphan Annie. You're going to take me to Colorado. That's the complete opposite direction of where you're supposed to be going. Because again, his destination is Atlanta. And if he's made it to Memphis or Arkansas, which is, right here, then you're a few steps away really from being in Georgia, getting to Atlanta. But like you said, with no guidance, with no information, with nothing to barter with or anything, no resources, what are you going to do? And so she's got him, she's collected him, brought him back to her lair in Graceland, has got him handcuffed. Like, you're going to take me where I need to go. All right, buddy. All right. And that's how the episode ends. I'm like, really? Do we, Annie? Is this what we're doing? Is you going to take me to my man with my baby? Because that's where he said he was going.
Girl, I told you she going to get on my nerves. This confirmed it. I was like, I said, Xavier, get up. He says, oh God, oh my God, I don't know. No, I can't. Oh, my handcuffed. Oh my God. Where is your skill and your tact, sir?
What? I was like, oh, yeah,
what happened? But once again, we have to make him this way so that Annie can handle him, accordingly. And I'm sure it'll become, a bonding situation over time, and we're both looking for these, loves of our lives apparently, and there's going to be some bonding happens because I think Link, he's going to be on some different type of timing. It's like, well, this isn't the man I met when we had one night only. You came over here to do, terrible deeds, but I already, met and bonded with Xavier as he got me all the way to Arkansas to find you. Whatever. I don't know. I'm really not looking forward to hanging out with him. I'm not. Like, I'm just not.
Not driving Orphan Annie, like driving Miss Daisy.
It is. I'm just like, what I'm gonna be led by you and your little sorry Elvis gun. I'm gonna listen to you all the way to Arkansas and believe that you're threatening my life. Now, if Xavier does it just out of pity, and because, I'm hurt and I'm not well yet, or I'm just really bonding, and knowing Xavier, he's going to go, oh, she's with child. I got to help this woman. She's pregnant. I got to do something. But I need them to make it make sense. And I want to be interested in the dynamic. There was a way to incorporate her. And even if it was just to introduce these two, to make it make sense without it being, look at me. I'm the captain now. You're going to take me to where I need to go. All right. His bum knee gave out on him on the prank immediately. It was like, what the hell? Xavier.
Lord. Episode 3, Another Day in Paradise. Almost paradise. Sinatra wakes up to discover a new paradigm in the bunker and takes steps to safeguard its biggest secret.
Oh, Sinatra.
This raggedy, emaciated heifer is still in control. I said, how the hoe in control and she in a coma too, and she just out and she still got control? Because I was really wondering, I was like, is Lara Croft, aka the Snow White assassin, is she really in control? Because the way it looked last season when she pop because you didn't get that Wii game, it let me know who's got the biggest blicky makes all the rules. But apparently that's not. So she wakes up out of her coma. We have a new president, President Gaines, and we'll get to him in a moment. But she is made to do a lie detector because you are an enemy of the state, madam. We know your game, and we know you're siphoning power to feed your family, to support your family home. And that's not what we do in paradise, because these are communal, limited resources that we have to work with. And so she takes the lie detector test and passes with flying colors. So they can't really keep her detained anymore. So they're going to release her on house arrest. And really, because of her biggest proponent, Gabrielle, we know the psychologist who is the person who chose everyone who's here in paradise. Tyra, who's really in control? And how do you think, because we know Sinatra's up to something. There is a secret project that we all know about, and it's probably codenamed Alex. But she has, what was her son's name, y'all? Drop it in the chat. What was her son's name? Because if her son's name is Alex, I
don't remember. If I had to see that little boy again, I was like, get this one. I'm sorry. It would have been nice, because then you add a predictable element to the show.
Yeah.
If anybody else that was, at least a subordinate as far as Sinatra felt capable or like formidable, like who now, if this person, matches nobody. They are sure all of the people who got there, the people with the money, and I was mayor and I was dumb as a box of rocks. I was like, Lord, I'm in control. I'm in charge now, Sinatra. Tell me what I want to know. Are you sure? Please. They have gone out of their way to show that man was dumb as hell since season 1. Like, he's just even the way when they had that little meeting and he was at the round table. So what do we have? What do we have up there that we don't have down here? Distant relatives? No, keep going. Seasons. We're going to have seasons. But no, we have seasons that we're going to siphon off, too much power. We can't, do that. There's something going on with, Sinatra. There's some story. We're going to have seasons. That man said, look, dumbass, we cannot do seasons. I was like, can we at least try to make it seem, and I guess it didn't matter, with them taking him out. But I was like, Lord, there's really none of that. Sinatra is, I hope they make it interesting, because there has to be something more than her trauma that she has lied, beneath with her son and those things to make her handle herself this way. Because now we're getting into a whole different side plot. You not wanting anybody to leave the dome and this, that. You're like storing secret energy and have a secret project. Now that's something else. That's something else. I never expected her to not be in control. For me, it's everything that's occurred around her, and you still have people revering her or looking up to her in a certain light, even if it like comes down to her own family. And it's just like, y'all know she diabolical, right? And she puts on like this air of like, oh God, what I wouldn't give to just kick my feet up. I just got out of a coma. He said, "Ho! Don't play with me. You're gonna tell me what I want to know." Like, I'm just not. I do like where we're going with these ex-besties, turn rivals or whatever we're going to do with this. But even with our therapist and our people picker, it kind of took her a long time to come on around to, but I was there when she was down and out. I helped her out. But now she's here like, okay, I know exactly what all you tried to do, and I'm going to conduct myself with you moving forward as such. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't expect anything less. Who else is down there? I was like, if y'all would have kept Billy for like 5 more minutes, if y'all would have kept James, like, and I know maybe if they didn't, think that it was going to be 1 season and they planned for a second one, I would have definitely kept James Marston and our Billy around. I would have kept both of them around a little bit longer. But I mean, even with the president, we have to use that because he's like the catalyst for everything. But Billy, I would have kept Billy around, especially when we find out how much history they have already here in this episode. But there was nobody else down there, I guess, outside of an Xavier, who is also kind of a gray area and kind of in the middle, because he's a man's man and like a man of the people or whatever. But he's also, he gives, underling energy, and I'm here to protect and serve. And he's, very much secret agent. That doesn't always kind of glide so nicely into, boss or ruler, or, he's kind of in his own lane. Who else is down here that could be a big bad?
I'm praying we haven't met them yet. I'm praying we haven't met them yet, and that there's still other people, because again, they just rolled out a few new characters at the end of last season, and we were like the damn librarian who turned out to be, So I'm thinking that there's other people here, and
I haven't seen.
I struggle. I like Sinatra as a villain because she is just completely, outside of the box with it. However, her losing her son isn't reason enough for her being willing to click the switch and kill all humanity. Just do it in a burst of light, just take them all out at once. He's like, no, like, give them a chance. People are resilient. No, just end it. And even then her philosophy down here, and we know how quick she was to try to take somebody out. I'm surprised she didn't try to take Cal out herself, honestly. Last season, that was the biggest surprise of the season for me, that she wasn't behind his assassination. But Snow White assassin, but I don't think she has any desire to lead anybody. But I don't think necessarily there's another big bad, but I do think there's somebody there in the bunker who's capable to lead. And I just don't think we've met them yet. Hopefully we meet them.
I will say I also struggle with that because there are supposedly, well, at the time, I think they said 25,000 people down here where we don't really make our rounds too often. I would like to see and be introduced to like, oh, okay, even if it's just in passing, if it was very small and even for it, being a dome, it doesn't give. I was saying that if y'all said 2,500, I would have let y'all make it. But 25,000, that would be nice to be made aware and really feel. So if we do have somebody pop up, it's like, well, there are, 20,000+ people down here. We have not met everybody. So it is plausible that we may have someone, because this definitely ain't it.
Nah, baby, this little league of under extraordinary people is ridiculous. Little President Gaines, he just can't win for losing, and you've already addressed it. Let's just give him a summer. Let's give him some seasons, baby. And people miss that being underground. We don't get that. It's always the same. Maybe go, sir, somewhere real quick, because Gaines was useless. Now, did he deserve to go out how he did? I don't think so, but he was useless. And so basically, we have another flashback, which is why we still get to see Billy, which is why we still get to see President Cal, because I think they're still listed as series regulars. I think that's how many flashbacks we're going to get.
They listed as series regulars, Ashley?
They're still listed as full
characters. I don't want that. I don't want that. This pisses me off. And I know they're going to try to tie it all together, but I thought moving into this second season, there will be no reason for more so flashbacks because we would be in the now. We don't have to follow with anything. Everybody's current with the role that everyone played to lead them up to the dome and what they did prior. There was no reason. Now you just reminded me of characters that I wanted to be around longer, current day.
And they're gone. Unless they're not. Unless some of the hypothesis is correct. I'm just saying it's very interesting because normally you would see them as guest starring, if there's going to be a few flashbacks, a few moments throughout the season, but not as, series regulars still. So anyway, we flash back and we're talking to Sinatra and we find out that Billy was actually hooked up with Sinatra through Cal's dad because he said, I see you're having issues. I see you're having issues. Basically, she wanted to buy this company and the man was refusing to sell. That weird dark-haired man, honey, who's always a strange bird and everything I've ever seen him in. And he's refusing to sell. And so, Cal's dad is like, I see you need a little help with your little problem. If you want to get this funded and go around the way. I know he's working on this project for you, but here, I got a guy. And so introduce Billy, who's been an assassin, honey. He's trained to go. And I love Billy so bad. When he was like, you don't touch them. That's my family. Bring the biggest and the baddest. And then they had to give Snow White assassin a chance. Pissed me off. But anyway, this is their meeting. And she's basically like, all right, yeah, I'm going to give you this little bread. Go and do. And then, can you be my, regular guy? He said, yeah, you'll get the multi-rate discount or something. I was like, what? She's like, oh, like a subscription? Like, no, chick. Run me my money and let me know as needed. And that will be our arrangement. And so the secret project was, of course, to unalive that guy. We go over there to take him out and we find out he's taking care of his dying wife, which is why he wasn't quick to make any moves or to sell anything and has been working on this project. And he says before Billy unalives him, he says, here's my dress. Come on, see about me. Just give me a little bit of time. And Billy goes over there and he's like, before you take me out, there's a young kid who's here who was going to be very necessary. Like there's no future basically without him. So you have to keep him alive for the hope of all humanity. But, I see you have kind eyes. And the kind eyes. He'll shot. And so he goes out. And just as he's leaving, we see a very young Link enter in, Tyra. Young Link, clean face. And I'm like, I kind of like you better with the beard, Leo. Like, Leo, Link. And Billy's like, this is the luckiest day of your damn life. Forget the project, forget this man, forget anybody else you knew. And just exit stage left, baby, because I'm doing a solid. This was already his redemption tour. Look, Billy was already on a new page, Tyra. He was already trying to change his life, doing favors. And Link, of course, dropped the food and was completely scared. And of course, now we know he's going to carry a vendetta. What did you think about this whole unaliving the secret project and then being reintroduced to Link now?
I said Sinatra couldn't possibly be our one and only big bad. There's somebody she's answering to that we have not met. Because the way he was like, oh my God, lady, if you say it out loud, I'm going to get up and walk the fuck away. You're a little slow. You're not really good at this. It's like, so I give you the money and you take care of it. So you take care of it. That means you're going. It's like, lady, please. It's like, sit down before I strip search. She's like, oh my God, my pearls. It's like, man, if I was going to give you a stiff one, girl, you'd have to ask me first. I'm not like that. Pipe down. Chill. I was like, she's so not who I would think she would be right now. And this large leap, that's what I'm saying. It feels like more time has went by than necessary, but it hasn't really. From the moment that they're sitting on that bench, they're not too far removed from the events that are occurring in the dome up until his death. So it's like, how did we come from, so if I just say this, then I could just call, so that's all it takes? You're just dropping bodies? I just hit you with a fresh breath mint or whatever. I sent you that message. You just go out and you, oh my God, like my heart. You're so touched. You're so caring. That's not who we see in the dome who's like, yeah, get her done. That's what you're down here for. You've never been anything but a useless mercenary killing machine. Mm-hmm. That doesn't really make any sense. Or how haphazardly she can care about just taking someone's life in the first place. The leap is large for a year, 1 year, 2 year removed. I was like, who are you answering to, lady? But don't play with Billy. Just, if we're gonna be here, just let him back, okay? Just say we y'all know what y'all be doing with these plots. We faked his death. We went in there. He always knew Snow White was on one. He didn't really trust her. We faked it to make them think that, just do whatever you're going to do so people can be here, because don't play in my face. All of the compassion while he sat there saying what he had already said once upon a time to Xavier, I was Joan of Arc in my former life. In my former life, there was never any time to sit at bars and, casually talk, make friends. I like this, man. You're cool. It's like, you're cool too. It's like, yeah, sign the damn paper. It's like, hold on. Hold on. And then we get into the mystery. I was like, oh, here, I'll go with the mystery. You ever think? I was like, first of all, everything here for the most part, it felt grounded in reality. Now, when we get into, do you believe in divine intervention type conversations? Do you think it was just happenstance that you happen to be here and you happen, meet me at this address and I can tell you more? And it's like everything's happening like a link in the chain. I was like, please don't. This link. Bump. That's what makes me nervous. Because soon as you guys open up these universes for something that was supposed to be limited or be just one season, you jump the gun. Normally. And I'm like, don't do that. There's a way to keep this story condensed sound and execute that writing just as well as you did in the first season and not do too much. But the way that man was spitting, it's just like, you're going to come into some money, you just sign the paper. Oh no, see this here? This is bigger than both me and you. You were supposed to be here. I knew it. Let me go and kiss my wife, give you the whole rundown, really play on those heartstrings. This is my wife and this is why we never had any children. And this is why you can't kill Link. Because he's the son I never had. And he's all the hope for humanity. And you have kind eyes. Blick, 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 blick. It's okay, cool. Thank you. Get us out of here. Get us out of here, William. Get us out of here. And it's just like, this is your lucky day because I'm going to let you go. But it's like a chain of events. I'm like, okay, don't get weird.
Don't get weird now.
It makes me nervous when I feel like they're jumping. When we get into like the post-apocalyptic, dystopian, alternate reality type of universal things, then that's when we get into like, oh, we're going to jump the shark. You didn't know the president had a time machine in the back. You didn't know that. That's special. I hit 2 buttons and we open the door and it's a time machine. Or, oh, this is a clone. You thought there was a president, but it wasn't. Aha. Don't get weird, show. stay real cute the way you were before. We can still go outside of the dome, which is why it makes me really concerned that we still have these old characters here present and so active. Why?
And there's so many theories, and of course I have a slide for that because there's so many hypotheses around what's going on, around what Link knows, how much he knows, what he's privy to. I'm really thinking there were breadcrumbs left for him that he found, or he helped to found something that created this whole thing. Because how do you know?
How is he here? And then we have several flashbacks, when the plane goes down or he's coming in and out of consciousness. It seems like he's looking and talking to Leo. Well, Xavier or Link.
I think that's a different time, right? So this is before the bunker. This is on the surface before they had even finished doing the bunker and all of that. And so then later on, you said he's talking to Leo.
Well,
you said he's talking to Xavier.
I thought when we had Xavier, once the impact happened from the crash and he's prepping, he's kind of like, it's like he's going in and out of consciousness, or even waking up when Annie picks him up. It seems like he's talking to Leo in the past.
Really?
I'm telling you, because it's like faded and it's like very white, but we're looking at the back of his head for quite some time, so we don't know who he's following or talking to. But eventually, before the episode goes off, he turns and it's Leo's face. So I'm like, Xavier already knows Leo.
I mean, anything is possible if what people are hypothesizing is correct.
But that's what I'm saying. Be cool. Like, chill, daddy, chill. just don't do the most, please.
Well, speaking of not doing the most, set up during Black History Month, Tyra. When I told you that they are coming for us this month, I'm so glad the month's almost over, damn it. This has been the most upheaval during the Black History Month that I've seen in a very, 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 very long time. But Nicole, top cop, mistress of the president, all right, just been demoted, and Snow White Assassin has been promoted to the #1 employee. She's your top employee, Tyra. And so she's been promoted. Nicole has already been demoted, and Gaines, he wants to go for a jog, and no one's going to stop me, damn it. I can go run in my neighborhood underground if I want to. Okay, go on and run. Sinatra calls. Yeah, President Gaines needs a breath mint. Done. Next thing we know, Snow White Assassin gutting the man like a pig on the street, on the pristine Desperate Housewife street, right? And then it's like it was Nicole. Oh my gosh, it was Agent Nicole. She did it. Come get her. Oh my gosh, this black woman during Black History Month killed our white president. Come and get her. With her natural hair. Come get her. This was diabolical. Because why would you set this lady up during Black History Month? Tyra, Sinatra, and it's one thing to get rid of them. Y'all could have framed it any kind of way you wanted to.
Honestly.
But why are you trying? You know too much?
I was already irritated. By the time we left Divine Intervention and Do You Really Believe? And hey, take this handkerchief because you're going to need it. Oh my God, my nose is bleeding. How did he... Don't start doing extra stuff that is just totally unnecessary. Because how did you know that man was going to need that damn handkerchief, sir? How did you know that he was going to have kind eyes and be kind enough to let Link go because he's all the hope for him?
He knows the future. He's been there before. That's the theory.
Oh, they're about to get on my nerves. This here, I was so happy because I messaged you when I saw Sis and I saw the wig from the first season. I said, you know what? Y'all trying to play with Miss Ma'am and Xavier's wife with these selection of wigs. Hate it. But when we popped out, I was like, this is cute. I was like, all right. We lived in down here. Be who you are, girl. It's Black History Month. I was here for it. Because I've been begging to know who's been down there doing Precious braids. I ain't seen too many blacks down there in the dome. We need to make our rounds so we can see some more people. I said, girl, who doing your retouches on your braids, ma'am? Do you do them yourself? But we're having a good time. She was doing what she's supposed to do. I'm looking out for Xavier's kiss the way I said I would. And it's the demotion. It's like, well, yeah, you wouldn't even have this much if it weren't for me. I know it's real bad right now for people to even think like what I wish was like Snow White was less detectable. There's no, I don't know. It makes it less believable that even the likes of Xavier would be like, "Oh my God, you poor thing. Let me take you into my bosom. You've lost Billy. I've lost Billy." It's like, I just don't know. I just saw you standing over Sinatra, and I just shot her, and they're going to say, no, baby, no, sweet pea, you don't have to worry about that, because I'm gonna take the fall for all that, and I'm gonna get Ghost, and you're gonna elevate, and we're gonna have her driving you around. She said, "What to, Miss Daisy?" If it wasn't for me, you'll be, locked up somewhere for your crimes. But even in the way that she spoke to Sinatra when she got up, like, yeah, if you remember anything, don't. Like, because this is a lunatic. That conversation about the we sent me. Like, what? What?
If you gave me the we, you never would have been in this
just
position.
handed over that we, because all I wanted to do was, that's what makes it hip hop. Oh, you didn't give me that we. Now you got shot in the chest. You got shot right in the trachea. Oh, okay. There's that. But to get here and frame this woman, and then it's right after, and I was like, it shouldn't have taken for you to get all the way up to here to be like, you know what? Something's not right with Snow White. Let me go check back on Billy's death and tie up some loose ends, because I don't know. And then all the context clues are getting together. Oh my God, he had a ring. He was about to propose. He cared. He had something to live for. Something's not right here. Mm-hmm. I was just like, okay. Because the standoff with them, and I guess that's what they're building up to, is going to be great, because she's the main one who's like, yeah, who? Snow White where? Baby, she can barely walk and chew gum at the same time. Like, she's not a threat. She's not even essential to the team. Like, she's not capable. Meanwhile, she's, Billy number one type energy. But to frame her, and the way that it was, I'm a white woman and I feel very attacked right now. Someone come quick. I was like, it's Black History Month. They don't care. Nobody cares that it's Black History Month. And I wanted some more fight. The way she came, and it was very silence. Like, oh my God, I'm just gonna faint right here. That took everything I had. I'm just out. And we frame her with the knife. And now that's just that. It was just that easy, that quick. Fine.
That quick, that easy. She's that Snow White assassin's that good. Jane is that good, Tyler. Yeah. See Jane run.
As soon as she released her natural curls, we gotta go this route. Soon as we get the natural curl pattern in her fro.
Yeah. And who's gonna take care of the children? Yeah. Remember, she was taking care of Xavier's children. Who's gonna take care of the children?
And Presley Show needs some taking care of, because she don't know how to stay put. I don't know.
Little brother had to check that. Don't be writing my sister. You into too much trouble, Jeremy. But yeah, this was a lot. Again, you'd expect, because Nicole was the senior agent. She was responsible for safeguarding the president. We know how that ended. She was also screwing the president. So we saw how that happened. However, I would still think she'd have more prowess as an agent to not do her investigation so out loud, baby. Because there's cameras everywhere here in Paradise. We know there's high surveillance. Baby, you monitor their surveillance.
You can't give me the cameras everywhere and it's becoming murders in a small town. At this, both of the presidents are dead. Like, really? Where are these Seth cameras? Where are they?
They're I guess they're not anymore. And what sis, because as we're getting closer to the end, we planted a bug in Sinatra's office, but Sinatra's already hip, so she's speaking in code. Yeah, because we've got to keep watching. The breath mint has been crushed, and now we're on to the hibiscus drink. Like, girl, just
the hibiscus drink.
Gabrielle knows, because she planted a device, and we know she's been privy to everything, or at least a piece of it, since season 1. But is she going to be for good or for bad? I've always felt ambiguous around Gabrielle. Like, I really never knew what side she would really be for, other than she's for the side of Paradise, right? Whichever the winning side was. I was here for a reason. Like, I helped you. I'm here to help people. Like, that's my true mission. But now understanding your true mission may have been in aid to take out all of these people. Where do you think we're going from this? What do you think she's going to do with this information that she's obtaining from Sinatra? Via bug. I don't know.
I don't know. She's been naive. and complacent since the beginning. So I don't know. I have no interest as far as she and Xavier is concerned.
I never want to see that.
Or even if it's like, oh, I'm gathering this information, so when the likes of an Xavier comes back, we can have all our ducks in a row. Or, but with Xavier being out and being, Rick Grimes and Michonne, she has to find another ally. She has to find someone. So I'm thinking that she's going to align herself with the revolution, the down with paradise people, James Marsden's son. Maybe she's going to align herself there
Right.
and really cook up something, because her alone, it doesn't give much. I mean, at least she was creative enough to, give her that'll do pig speech and hand over that picture frame with the bug on it. Because, girl, I know you up to something. I need to listen in on these conversations. But she's just kind of in the middle. I need a little bit more from her to be like, oh, okay, like you didn't messed up. At first, I saw you as a sister and even a friend, but now it's up. I got to treat you accordingly. Come on, give us something, girl.
Come on, girl. Give us something. Give us something, boo. Now, as the episode ends, we see son Jeremy. And he got a plan, baby. Because listen, the father's last words to his son was, you don't like it? Change it. In the mixtape. If you don't like the paradise, you change the paradise. And so we get kind of the inference that he's been doing rallies. He has been doing protests. He's against the regime and really wants to figure out what's at the root. Also messaging Presley. And I'm like, leave our young black queen out of this, sir. Our young black American princess. I don't like it. Don't bring her into your foolishness. I don't even like that she saw him as he got arrested. You're too close. Too close for comfort, girl. What they gonna do with you down in the underground? So now he has decided that he's going to get arrested and he's going to infiltrate the underground penal system of the paradise, where we actually see the creator builder of the paradise. I've been looking for you, man. Because, baby, in order to break it down, I need to work with who built it. Jeremy, I like your plan, boo, but I still don't know you well enough. I don't like how you played in your daddy face. I really don't like that. I don't feel like he deserved it. All right. Tyra, talk to me about Jeremy and his plan. And is it a smart plan? I actually think it is. I'm interested to see where it goes.
Yeah, it's a smart plan, but this is another instance where a little time jump would have done a great service here. I like that we met up with the creator, because I think the entire time, the first season, I was like, what happened to him? Was he just kind of used for his services as well, but you didn't even earn a seat, down here with the folks? No, I've been here. I've just been under here. He's stepping in to fill some really big shoes. I love how she said, like, your little, she says, your little boyfriend with the good hair, Jeremy with the good hair, has went all Les Miserables. Okay, you need to stay away from him and do what I said and be in his house on time. Yeah, he has some really big shoes to fill as far as just the character and what he means to the town now. He's going to be, the opposing side. So I want to see him in like the capacity of at least a young like man, or like transitioning. It's still a little boy, a little bit for me to like make that big leap. But I see him. He seems passionate. Like you said, there's a sour taste in our mouth just because of how we left daddy president. It was just like, oh my God. You said what to him before he died? They tried to clean it up last season with the CD, son. It's like, regardless of how you felt, I know deep down there's love there. It's like,
it wasn't enough for me. I need to hear it.
It was very loud. I was like, oh my God, nobody whispered sweet nothings in the president's ear before he went. Nobody. It was just bad. But I think he has a lot to live up to. But this is a good plan. This is the best that he has, because wasn't nothing happening above surface, or whatever he thought he was doing with Presley and passing those notes. I was like, don't take us down the kids' bop, revolutionary rabbit hole. We don't want to go with y'all anywhere and do nothing. But if he combines himself with the likes of this creator and also maybe Gabrielle, who has more access, I think we can really move.
And Nicole will be down there soon too, unless I don't know what they gonna do. It's treason. So I mean, what do you, if she and Andrew, that was a plan. Getting down there was his plan. What you mean?
The plan. That was just acts of rebellion. I mean,
I didn't say he had a well thought out plan, but the first step of the plan was to get down there and talk to the real smart one. That's genius to me. Connect with people smarter than you.
I don't. Well, was this the what was in that note that that he gave to the brother to give to Presley.
It was just like Presley. We were supposed to meet somewhere tonight and whatever. That's all
Also,
I
that was
saw, and I know
probably
she was there.
preparation for like the goodbye. I'm going underground. You're probably not going to
Yeah.
see me, but by the time she gets there,
Yeah.
it's too late. Okay, I see it.
Because he knew he was getting
Yeah.
arrested. Because when he went down there, he went right to the guy and was like, "Yeah, I came to see you, buddy."
I'm here for it. I just he got some. Come on, Simba, Pride Rock. He got a lot to do.
Okay, now we're getting over here because, of course, we have wrapped up. I want to know who or what is Alex? Is Alex a portal? Is Alex AI? Is Alex, because I'm really thinking about CERN. Like, as soon as I heard Alex, I'm like, and she got a power or something. I was thinking about those CERN, and I was thinking about those damn portals, which people say you can go through interdimensionally and maybe through time, right? Also, could it be a time machine? She's powering something. So it does make me feel like it's a machine and Alex is not a person. It could be an acronym for something. Y'all already said her son's name was Logan or Dylan or something like that. So that's not it. But Tyra, who or what is Alex? Drop it in the chat, y'all. Drop it in the comments. Who or what is Alex? And how can we kill it if it's not living?
Because I didn't want to go over here. Not with this show, like you two. The dawn was enough. The apocalypse was enough. Now we got to incorporate time travel, AI, and what you said, weapon.
Yeah, a weapon.
Alex is an alien. It's an intergalactic being from another planet. Like, I just get really frustrated. I get frustrated. Like, she's, like you said, she's powering something. And if we go all the way over into time travel, it's going to be, okay, well, we can go back in time and stop these events before they ever happen, and the world can be shiny and happy again. And then we're going to have the likes of Link. Well, you can't do that. I have to shut Alex down, because if you do, it's very, if you go back in time and knock over a pencil on that Thursday night, the whole world alters. We can't do that. We have to deal with the state of the world as it is and, continue to grow and repopulate naturally. We can't interfere with the time-space continuum. I don't want to go over there. I do not, because that opens up lanes and portals literally for so much other crap. And they ruin shows. Better shows have met a ruined end trying to go over there and time travel. Don't do that. Like,
I mean, what if Xavier is here on a time travel mission just to see what the future looks like if a cataclysmic event happened? Like, what if it was a way of it being a simulation, but not so much? You know what I mean? Like, he went there on a task to see what the future would be and come back and report back. I don't know. It leaves room for, whenever you open up to a multiverse or like interdimensional or time travel, it's very easy to go off the rails, because then there's no limits. Like you said, all of these people are regular cast members. They're not guest starring. So it's like, what are y'all doing? What are you doing?
They are about to do the most. They're about to do a T-1000 is going to pop out. It's just this might as well be, the Terminator. I don't know. Theories, Ashley, please.
I want to know prediction theories for the next episode, for episode 4.
None. I would have had some predictions and theories if we were still grounded in the everyday reality. This thing hit. Some of us got in this bunker. Some of us didn't. The whole thing with Link and Alex and he's the one. And that man, how he handed Billy that tissue and the nosebleed, and the fact that Xavier already in some space and time knows Link. I feel like y'all are traveling through time. Or even we can have this here. And it's like, and that's what I'm feeling even in the show when I was like, this is bothering me, the way that these people are conducting themselves. It's like so much time has gone by. Did so much time go by and we think we're umpteen years removed and we're actually in a distant future because y'all time traveled? Or it opens too many questions. Like, I'm about to be upset. That's what's gonna happen. That's my theory. I'm about to be upset. That's what's about to happen.
But what if this is just, the fans, right? But the show stays very grounded and it's nothing like we think it's going.
I could say the fans, if that man had to, when you get to talk about divine intervention, and I knew you would be here. I knew you would come. Here's this handkerchief. You're going to need it. Clean your nose with that Kleenex. You have kind eyes, so I know you're going to let Link go because he's going to be.
Maybe he got the sight, Tyra. Maybe he just had a prophetic gift. Maybe he just.
Don't bring me over there. Don't bring me over there with the sight and the gift. I want us to stay grounded in the know. And we know
there's always like a mage or something.
I don't know. We'll see.
But you guys, Tyra's whole mood. She's like, oh God, I don't want to go over here with y'all. But y'all, that was Paradise Season 2, episodes 1 through 3. I believe from now on, they'll air one episode weekly. So I'm absolutely here for that. Tyra, any final thoughts on the episode and anything you want to let the people know we got going on the rest of the week?
Leave the show alone. It was fine, you know? It was fine. These shows, especially if it's like anticipation to, well, not only did we think we were going to get a second season, but now we want a third, fourth, and fifth. Now we have to go big or go home to keep the viewers interested. And now we got to jump the shark. Just leave that shark in the water. We don't have to jump anything. We were happy to be following Xavier getting to his wife and all those good obstacles. I don't need anything. Because at first I thought they were going to do some weird, oh, you went out, you breathe in the toxins, now you're infected type energy. I don't know where they're going, but we know when it's the apocalypse, they can go anywhere. I will prefer to stay with my feet on the ground, if you don't mind.
And we will see, y'all. We will see. But you guys, that was it. That was the episode. Don't forget, in 3 minutes, we will be back. If you watch 90 Day Fiance before the 90 days, we'll be back to talk episode 11 in 2 and 2. But thank you guys so much for being here. I am actually going to leave you with this week's, well, no, I won't. Just have a great night, and we will see you in the next video. I'll play that next time. Have a good night, y'all.